from the stage, Daniel.
Yeah, buddy.
The second Daniel, right?
Yeah.
Two Daniels.
Two Daniels.
Daniel's son.
Daniel's son.
It's like 5. How's everybody doing tonight?
Fantastic.
I want to thank you all for those beautiful performances. I'm inspired.
Yeah.
I get nervous about the future sometimes, and then things like your words and your songs make me realize that there's better stuff going on, younger than myself, that can really help build a future for us. And I'm glad because I have a daughter.
Yes.
She's 10 years old. She'll be running for president in 2040.
Yeah.
Now. So when you see that kind of road Sheehan on the ballot, no, she comes from good stuff.
Yes, she does.
And it's not from myself either. So I'm about to tell you, don't let that affect your decision while voting for her later. We've been talking a lot about race tonight, our skin color and all this. I'm ethnically ambiguous, to say that. I like that about myself. I was like maybe 10 before I even knew I was brown, maybe. And that's just maybe brown, too. That's not even when I was younger, we're learning about the Native Americans. And the teacher, I grew up in Sequoia, New York. I don't know if anyone knows Sequoia.
Sequoia?
I don't know if there's a whiter place on earth. It was a beautiful place. I got a great education. Some confusing vibes sometimes from the teachers. We're talking about the Native Americans, and the teacher looks at me and she says, does anyone have any Native American blood? And she's looking at me, Yeah, what? She's like, well, Daniel, aren't you Native American? And I'm like, I'm American something. I don't know exactly. What are you talking? I was confused. So I went home that day, and I knew that the color of my skin comes from my pops, because my mother half German, half French, not a lot of that melanin we talked about. So I said, Pops, we're Native American, right? And he's like, certainly not. Well, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know, maybe you are from your mom's side of the family, certainly not our side of the family. We're Lebanese and been that way for a pretty long time. And my father, I think, was the first one to kind of break that chain a little bit and make some creamy babies. And so I go back into school the next day and the teacher's like, did you find out? Are you Native American? And I'm like, no, I'm like Chinese. And she thought I was just being abstinent, just trying to be a jerk in class, and she was upset. And I got my knees wrong. You know what I mean? There's so many knees to choose from. And later on in school, we do this game we used to do it. I don't know if they still do this game, the Oregon Trail.
Yeah, Oregon Trail.
We all, virtually, not virtually, whatever it's called, hypothetically take this trip across the country, wagon trains and what have you. And the teacher's doling out names to everybody. And, out of just pure dumb randomness, I get Juan Hernandez. And we're going through, the third, fourth day into the game, and they're saying, so Miss Debbie, where did you come from Massachusetts, where did your character come from? And everybody's got all these backstories that they're filling in and all this. And she says to me, Daniel, Juan, because we're in character. Where did your ancestors come from? She didn't say what state. She didn't say what part of the country. She said where, what country. And again, I'm not catching it because again, I don't know why I'm on her. So, and I answer back, Lebanon. I don't think you understand what I'm asking you. Obviously not. And so I don't know. It was until I moved to another very white part of the country, northern Arizona. It's a beautiful place. I do highly recommend checking it out. They still think that the cowboy days happening. They all slap leather whenever they want to. It's a good time. It's really fun. But I moved to this place, and I was the most proud I've ever been in my life. And that's when I was like, wow, I guess, you do kind of get treated a little differently, just based on the color of your skin. And I was, taught that doesn't really happen anymore. And, that started to sink in a little bit. Not long after that, I moved to the South. And like a lot of people that were standing up here today, we've all been in the restaurant industry. It's a place where people that can't pay attention for too long, or maybe just ain't great at showing up to work at 9 o'clock in the morning, really just fit right into this whole work, no break, 6 hours, lots of money, party till the sun comes up, rock and roll. I love the industry, it was great. And then, and you get to be like Peter Pan, you never got to grow up. This industry, and it just doesn't matter. You can be a kid all the time, and then you can even, as long as you don't quit, you can even be the boss. Oddly enough, very strange industry. But I had a good time. I adapted well to it. And then I moved to Atlanta, suburbs of Atlanta, and my racial ambiguity did not help. I come up to a table, my chipper, hey folks, how you doing today? What can I get for you? And they're like, looking at me like I've got 3 heads. And they're like, where are you from? No wine, I take it. I'm from New York. And that wasn't good. They didn't like that at all. Obviously, I'm in the South, here's a carpetbagger trying to sell me booze. No, they're like, where are your people from? My people? I don't know, I'm not a cult leader. Last I checked, I don't really have people. Where were you born? Utica, New York. Oh, well, then you're American. Yeah. It took me a little while to find out. The fact that I looked Hispanic, spoke very clear, and very, what's the word I'm looking for? The English we speak in the South is just a little different. I didn't speak that language. And so it just really confused folks. And when you're making money off of other people's generosity, I don't go over too well. So pretty quick, I found myself getting into that southern twang, And now it's, hey y'all, how are you doing today? Sweet tea for you, sir? And then everybody's comfortable now, nobody cares about anything. Now, I was working in an Italian restaurant at the time. So now that we got over this, you can't put me in a box, and you get uncomfortable, and now we've shattered that. I know the tricks, I know how to get into your head just a little bit to make you feel comfortable. It was Carrabba's Italian Grill. They had these fake pictures of the family and all this all over the walls. And they're like, is that your uncle? And I'm like, fucking kidding. Yeah, actually it is. Uncle Johnny and me were golfing last week. And he's sure ain't proud of me for just working my way up through the ranks here, wearing the apron, so to speak, and, just really pulling myself up from my bootstraps. We don't want to just, just mooch off of Uncle Johnny all the time. So, but this industry, the restaurant industry, it's an amazing place to be, like I said. It allowed me to do things I never thought I could do, like stand in front of people and talk. I love to talk. One of my favorite things on earth. The problem with that is I don't remember things well. Someone asked in the crowd up here before, who doesn't smoke weed? And I was able to raise my hand honestly.
Woo! Yeah, buddy.
I could probably pass a drug test like today for the first time in like 30 years. So that's newer to my life. So on top of being kind of, I like to have a good time, smoke a lot of weed, my memory wasn't great. And so it makes for a hard job when you're a server, because you come to the table, I'm all happy, everybody's my best friend, what do you need, what do you need, what do you need? You fired at me, I walk away like this. I don't remember shit. And so, you know, now it's busy and the place is full. I'm running around, sweating my ass off. You know, it looks like I'm doing great. Until the looks on everyone's faces start to turn a little bit. Everyone's happiness that I created over the evening just started to really just pour all over the floor. I'm like, what's going on with these people? How am I going to do to make them happy? Oh, they don't have any food. Did you guys get your salad yet, right? Sucks. So now I run back to the, to the cooks. You know, they love me anyway because I like to remember things like no peas, no cheese, and whatever I need on the fly. So sorry. I'm like, hey, you guys got that ticket for table 34? And they're like, no. I never even ordered their food. My one job. Put the food in and bring it to them. So I guess 2 jobs. So the first job, not so good. Fell hard, right on my face on that one. But now the food is ordered. I've completed part A to a very simple job. And finally, these guys, with the grace of God, put this food together really, really fast, and I'm shaking and I'm nervous. I gotta talk to people, whatever. What am I gonna say? What am I gonna do? Oh, food, good, we're good. So I come trotting out, out to the floor with all this food, and everybody's looking because they've been watching me the whole time, wondering where my food is, And here I am, and they're blocked, their faces light up. Oh, we're gonna get that food. He told us how good it was. Here it comes. And then I see their faces start to go from happy to scared. I'm like, why are you scared? Oh shit! And then he dropped that right on the ground, right pretty much at their feet. The meal that you told them how good it was going to be and all that. What do you do? Cry. At that point, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
But I'm too stupid to cry, too hard-headed to walk away. And my bosses were just so confused every day that I came back to work. They're like, really, dude? After, okay, you're right, they didn't have the heart to fire me. So for like 3 years, I was a really bad server. Never got any better. Never, to this day, did I get any better at waiting tables. And so what you build from that is a thick crust. And like, if you can keep going back up to those tables and staring them in the face and just being like, hey guys, I know this is pretty terrible, right? You've never done anything like this before. You're never going to forget it. I love you guys so much for not throwing these utensils at me. And the sick thing is what I learned over time, it wasn't the food these people were coming in for. They were hungry, don't get me wrong, but you get food anywhere. It was an experience. And man, I gave them an experience. And you never forget that shit. And then after a while, my section's full. And everybody else's sections are empty. And I'm freaking out trying to tell the cooks that I forgot to tell you no cheese on this. And my bosses are really confused. They're like, we just don't understand. How is it that you just can't seem to get through a whole table without just fucking it all up? I don't know. You know what I mean? I couldn't tell you. At one point, I thought it was because I smoked too much weed, but I quit smoking weed in the past. Did not get better. Not the weed. It's not his fault. Stop blaming weed. And and so one day he comes up to me, and I know today's the day I'm getting fired. It's over. Because how many times did you do this? 4 days a week, actually, 6 hours a day. And so he comes up to me and he says, hey man, I've tried everything. I tried small sections, big sections, giving you a helper, all this stuff. He's like, you just keep messing it up every day. He's like, but the part I don't understand is your guests never leave pissed off. They come up to me and they want to know when you're working next. And he's like, I'm trying to take them off the schedule. I can't even do it. Because you got, people are requesting your section 3 days before you even work. I don't even understand this. He says, so what I need you to do is, I need you to do that for the whole restaurant. And I'm like, you're joking, man. I can't handle 3 tables. You just reminded me of that. Thanks, by the way. And I'm like, what? I don't get it. He promoted me. What is your problem, bud? Like, don't I give you enough, like, agita? Like, do you really want to take on, like, full-time my tornado that I bring into your restaurant? And he said, no, not really, but, you know, I can't keep scheduling you on the floor, and if I take you off the schedule, the guests are going to burn the restaurant down. So we got to figure something else out. And I'll tell you what, I hit the ground running. I found a thing that I never knew I was good. I never really knew a thing I was good at, to be honest with you. Partying, great. Drinking, oh yeah. You know, driving, no, not so much. But, you know, whatever. I couldn't really find many things. But managing a restaurant came supernatural to me. I don't even know why. You know, the job is you just make people happy. You know, you just make them happy. It's not hard. You smile at them, you listen to them, you ask them what they need, you lie to them a bunch, and you call it a day. You know? And so the job was super, you know, it was good. It was good. It was great. And I did it for a long, long time. And like I said before, it's like Peter Pan. You never got to grow up. You know, eventually that shit will catch up to you. You got to do some growing up, which I guess I have in the last year or so. It's been a good time. You know, I wouldn't be standing up here rapping these silly words if it wasn't for my family sitting right here in front of me. And saying, thank you guys.
Love you.
You know, and it's this is what I've learned in my time that you know, as long as you don't lay down and stop, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
A year ago, I was laying on a mattress, let's say, and crack house, maybe. And I was like, dude, it's over. You done fucked right up. You took everything in your world and you poured gasoline on that shit, caught it on fire, got high while you watched it burn. And
Oh my God.
I thought that was it. And you know, the reality of the situation is you never know what's coming next. You know, life's a mystery. I'm up here doing stand-up comedy. I don't get it. I don't even live here. I live in Atlanta. And, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, through God's grace, several little dominoes fall down together, and I'm standing on this stage. Now I'm driving here tonight, and my hands could barely hold the wheel because I'm shaking, and I can't turn Adele up loud enough. Scream sing to, because that's what I need to get ready for. And I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You start telling jokes, you get nervous, you just start saying some filthy things. I haven't done that yet.
Very
I don't
good.
think I'm done.
Very
I
good.
think I'm handling this just fine.
You're doing good.
But like as you know, as this calm started to come over me, and I was hitting those Adele notes real good. I mean, like good. I turned her down so I could hear me. You know, I was like, "Thanks, girl. You gave me what I needed. Now it's my time to shine." You know, and I was really starting to feel it. I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go up there and do something I've been talking about doing for almost a decade. And I'm like not really paying attention, driving here, whatever. And then I turn into Friendlies? What? I don't even understand. Like if I really would have thought about it, I could have probably come up with 10 minutes of comedy just about the silly shit I did at Friendlies. And all the while, you know, whatever. But as I rolled through, and whoever was out back saw this little tiny car come rolling in, shit like knocking the snow off of it with some Adele, with me hitting maybe some flat notes at the top, and just, I don't know, I was good. I was like, I got this. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
You know, but you never know for sure. And I walked in the door, and it was like my worst nightmare, which has nothing to do with stand-up comedy. I walked into an empty restaurant. And I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
What happened? And you know, and then the nerves come back. Because I remember what it's like to open a restaurant or start to do an event, and that thing starts, and nobody's here. what? So now I'm getting nervous again. And the shakes come back. Mouth dry as you get out. And luckily for me, the gentleman that owns this place, Dwayne, I don't know if he saw my concern. I think I saw his. And I said, hey, you know, I'm here for the event. Is there anything I can do to help? And he's like, dishes? Fuck yeah, dude, I got that. You got it?
Yeah.
No. Cool, whatever. You know, I actually used a Sharpie marker to get all the bleach stains off of this shirt before I came in anyway. So whatever, I'm good. And he soothed my soul by putting a bar rag in my hand and pointing me to the dishwasher. Didn't have to tell me how to use it because, did that before. And, you know, and as the machine's going and the water's running and it's just like white noise, just, you know, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And so, you know, at the end of the day, I'm learning, you know, do that thing. Do the thing, whatever it is. Man, I always want whatever. Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, do it.
Do
because being scared is real silly. On top of the fact that life's just scary anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like just getting up, getting in the car, driving, especially in Utica. Half the year, it's just death zone on the road. You know, it's scary. So go do that thing. Fly across the ocean or jump out of a plane or whatever it is. Don't wait for life to come to you, because if you do, you might end up on a mattress in a crack house, you know? And if you don't have people like these beautiful people in front of you, you might not make it out of that crack house. So, again, I want to thank all of you for coming. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, my friend.